This cannot be stopped. Why not?
This is not business as usual. Just this weekend, we've seen protests up and down the country, some of them absolutely enormous. And to me, it's beautiful. It's beautiful because it's the English people finally recognizing themselves, seeing themselves for who they are, looking left and right, shoulder to shoulder, and seeing that they're not alone. And I think that's...
This is what I said before about the power of consensus. He's saying it himself, and he's just explaining it in a different way. He right?
Really, really powerful. Yep. Anyway, you came here to take a look at some protests. So we'll start with one in Manchester, where Paul Golding put on a march for remigration.
Yep, we saw this before. They're mad as fuck. They're saying, I know you guys don't speak British. They're saying, get them out. They're saying, get them the fuck out.
To me, that is spectacular, and I just love to see so many English flags in the crowd. Yeah. Now, I mentioned earlier
that's how you can tell that it's not America.
It was a march for remigration, and some of you may have never heard of this concept before. Yeah. Maybe you've been living under a rock. But the idea is pretty
self-explanatory.
Simple. You want more people to leave the country than are entering it. We didn't consent to mass immigration, and now we want to see that reversed. We're not happy for mass immigration to just stop, which it still hasn't.
Send them back.
We want it to be reversed. Okay, that's the broad concept. I also mentioned that this was set up by Paul Golding on behalf of Britain First. And in the past, I've said that I don't really see Britain First as a political party, even though technically they are. And I think I stand by that statement. I said in a previous video that I see them more as
I would say it's definitely a political... I think that, again, pretty much all discussions of how the government should treat people is political in nature. This is the same as like people saying like, oh, this isn't politics, it's just being a good person, with like, for example, allowing trans people to use a certain bathroom. It is politics for sure. It absolutely is. But I see what he's saying too, is that like this is generally an issue that most people are aligned with.
A street protest movement, and I think that's still true, right? Maybe in the future that will change, and I will change my opinion about that, but look, that is one hell of a street protest that they've put on. In fact, let's take a look at another angle of it.
That's a lot of people. Yep.
But it wasn't just Manchester. Yesterday in Islington, outside the Barbican Thistle Hotel, there was a protest. Why? Well, because 41 of the migrants staying in that hotel have been charged with 90 criminal offences. And
what the fuck is going on? How is this real? What is this? Like, how do you have this happen? What the fuck are they doing? This is insane. It's like they're speedrunning fascism. It's gonna happen. When these guys take over, it's gonna be really fucking bad. This is going to be so bad, bro. It's easy to explain. That's a tiny protest, to be honest. The average Fully riot is bigger. Oh, I know that. But it's not about the size of it. It's about where the size of it is going. Is it getting bigger or smaller? That's the conversation.
Unsurprisingly, the locals aren't too happy about it.
I've always got my thingy up.
Stop the boats. Deport foreign criminals. Imagine that you need to push this. Deport foreign criminals. I think this is what I think is going to happen. I think they're not going to. I think that this extremism will not lead to a person being elected that says send the boats back. It's going to lead to a person being elected that says sink the boats. I think that's where we're going. I think that's obvious. Yes, the frustration keeps building. Yes. And the thing is that I'm worried about this because anything that's oppositional and violent like that eventually becomes toxic and problematic. It will be. And I'm worried about this being an existential problem all throughout the world. But again, not allowing civil, reasonable discourse has made this inevitable. I think that's where we're at. Shouldn't you be worried about the bad issues because of the bad things happening now, not because of what might happen before? Well, I'm just talking about it from like my perspective. Like, this is where I think things are going to go. This is where I think things are headed. And I think this is why, and I think this is what's going to happen after that. Like, I'm not really like, again, I feel like I don't want them to do that. Just fucking deport these people, get rid of them, and then move on, right? Like, I mean, I don't think it's really a complex issue. But the people that are living there, that are developing such animosity for it, and that are so angry about it, I think that they are going to become bloodthirsty. And I think when that happens, it will be shocking.
Fortunately, they weren't actually able to protest where they were meant to because a horde of masked up Antifa guys showed up and blocked the route.
Yeah. See, this is the problem that Europe also has, is that there are a bunch of people who are defending these migrants. The entire idea, and I know that some of you guys in chat like to say this, that, oh, well, nobody in the UK wants this. Nobody, and I always say Europe. I'm really talking about the UK in this circumstance. A lot of the people in your country do want this mass migration. They do want the mass migration. They do want all of these third worlders to come in. And that is the problem that you need to solve before you go and do anything else. Just stop oil protesters? Yes, exactly. And so the question is why? So the reason why they want the immigrants in is because, number one, they think it's the morally right thing to do. Number two, they think that it will help the economy. Number three, they think that the countries are destabilized because of British policies and British interventionism, and so they deserve it. And number four, I think that there's a degree of collective guilt that Europe has for World War II and for previous racial differences and different types of racial segregation, and it's been passed down through generations, and it's been impressed upon these people to the extent that they will act on it. I think that all of these four things come together, and that is the reason why they're doing it. You're asking me, like, I'm not, again, I gave you where I think is, I don't live there. This isn't my problem. I'm telling you, this is my analysis of it. Cheap labor? Yeah, exactly.
Weirdly, they seem to be shouting some non-English phrase that I just can't understand. Anyway, they were later seen waving and cheering at the migrants in the hotel who were filming them back using their iPhones. Yeah, iPhones that we paid for.
Yep.
There is some good news, though, because for a brief moment, the police...
And this is also another issue, is that I think this is also definitely a class thing, where a lot of the upper middle class, and this is especially true with like affluent people, are okay with more migration because they have more of a vested interest in the global economy and the country's economy because they have more money in stocks, they have more money in companies, etc. But the average working class person doesn't have that same type of vested interest. They do have pressures from housing, they have pressures from different things like this, and because of that, they look at those migrants that are living in that hotel and they say, well, if they're living in a hotel, why can't I live in an apartment for free too? Why do I have to pay for my apartment? I'm a citizen, but this person lives in the hotel and it's paid for by the government. And so really, this is a working class problem. And I think that's kind of what's happening right now. The Magna Carta needs to be rewritten. It's too old. Well, I don't know about that. I'm just saying, like, this is just, it's not that complex, is it? I'd say it. Don't think deeply about it. They want more victims. They want illegals to join them against decent people. I don't know. Who lives in a hotel? How do they cook food? I have no idea. Why do you think people, at least in the U.S., other than boomers, won't try contacting their state and federal reps? Sure, they suck, but enough angry constituents can bring change. I think that they do. Yeah, I think they do all the time. It just isn't enough.
It's some policing. I'm pretty sure they even made some arrests whilst they were there.
Can you move back, please?
Uh-oh.
This is now happening up and down the country every day. Local communities have just had enough. But I guarantee that the government has no idea why this is happening. They're just scratching their heads, wondering
how is this not capitalism's fault? Because there's countries that are capitalists that don't have this problem. So if it was the fault of capitalism, logically every country that was capitalist would have this problem. Any social system, like we have a lot of socialist systems here in the United States, like Social Security, for example. I really don't like this dichotomy that people create between capitalism and socialism, because in America, we have like a 70-30, 80-20 system where it's like 80 to 70% capitalism and 20 to 30% socialism, where we have a lot of government assistance programs. And I think that we need to, I think the best way to do it is probably 60-40. Now, I think that once automation takes over enough jobs, I think it should be 60% socialism, 40% capitalism. And I don't see a world where we can't live like that unless you kill everybody, which you could do that too, again. But, that's just, again, that's just my assumption. But again, this dichotomy that people create between like socialism and capitalism is not real. It's not a real dichotomy. People have both systems all the time in their country. Even China has capitalism. So try to step away from using these terms as just a blanket for these really individual problems. It's a spectrum.
People so upset.
It's a spectrum.
Well, if you step away from your worldview for just 1 minute and look at how perverse the governance in this country has been for the last 50 years, look at how people have voted, how many times they've told you they want lower migration, only for you to betray them every single time.
Yeah,
okay?
I mean, if people can't, this is another big issue, is that the reason why, for example, the Boston Tea Party happened and the American Revolution happened is because we couldn't vote to not be represented by King George or whatever the fuck. When a democratic process doesn't work, and it's a big difference, like losing a vote is different than the system not working. But when you vote for something and then the thing you vote for doesn't happen, well, you shouldn't expect people to just wait around for the next vote. They're going to lose their fucking minds. Like, I'm totally in favor of using democratic processes like we have in the U.S., but the issue is that in some cases, especially in countries like, maybe the UK, you vote for something and then they don't do it. And if you don't allow people the democratic ability to solve problems, the democratic means to solve problems, that doesn't mean that they're just going to roll over and take all those problems. It means they're going to find other means that are besides democratic. And that has, in history, never been a good idea. It has never been good. People have died every single time. They'll use violence.
That's why this is happening.
And of course, they have to use violence. Because if you can't solve your problems democratically, you can't be represented, how else can you solve your problems than with violence? Of course, that's what you're going to do. Absolutely. You voted for the Reese Epstein files. Who's the fool now? Well, I mean, I voted for a lot of things. Trump has done. Well, actually, number one, I didn't vote. Okay, so number one, you're wrong on that categorically. Number two, I would say that overall, I've been very happy with the things that Trump has done. That's the one thing I'm not happy with.
People have had enough. But of course, people in the civil service, people in the government, they just can't see this. They just don't seem to understand it. And so they press on. In fact, 2 days ago at the Britannia Hotel in Canary Wharf at 1:30 in the morning, under the cover of darkness, very sneaky, they bust a load of migrants in, hoping, of course, that nobody would see it.
Well, it's obvious that they know that they're doing something wrong. You don't try to hide your behavior when you're doing something good. Really, that's why, for example, every single time somebody is stealing from charity, they get discovered stealing from charity. And every time someone is donating to charity, they announce that they're donating to charity. Why does nobody, why is it that people aren't hiding donating to charity and they aren't expressing that they're stealing from charity? Well, the reason why is because they're talking about things that make them look good. It's that simple. And everybody knows it.
But someone did see it.
The time is 1:33, the 1st of August.
Uh-oh. Caught, yep.
And guess what? Just one day later, they were already trying to leave the hotel on their delivery bikes to work illegally. Fortunately,
Oh, what a surprise.
a couple of patriots stopped them.
I mean, tell me this. Look at this, guys. Look at this, guys. Look at this, guys. Yeah, tell me these ain't delivery drivers. Tell me these ain't delivery drivers, guys.
They're obviously. Yeah.
Oh, shit. There we go.
By the way, this is the most peaceful it will ever be in the next, I think, 10 to 15 years. This is the most pleasant and most peaceful these interactions will ever be.
Georgina, I'm modding
Yeah,
you.
it could be a lot faster.
Georgina, message something quickly so I can see your name again.
I kind of hope you're wrong. I mean, it's not about whether I hope or not that I'm wrong. My goal isn't to push something. Like, I think that honestly, they shouldn't be busing them in. Like, they're causing this problem to happen. That's it. They are making this problem happen, and they're making it worse by busing all of these people in. They're trying to hide it because they know that it's bad. Again, they've created this problem themselves. That's it. I mean, it's not like somebody else did this to them. They did it to themselves. You're being a realist? Yeah, I'm just being realistic. I think this is where this is where things are going. It's very obvious this is where things are going. It's the same in Portugal. Yeah, I don't know about Portugal. Can we stop acting like this isn't on purpose or by design? Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, and it's obviously by design because the government obviously decided to do it at a certain time and they're controlling people for complaining about it. It's very obvious that the leadership in the government wants this to happen for some reason.
Won't surprise you then to know that there are fresh protests outside that hotel today.
Why do they want to do this? We are not far right, but we are not far wrong. Don't gamble with our lives. Stop the boats. This is, I think, what's really going to change things is when you get women on your side. Because for a long time, one of the biggest weaknesses that a lot of far right movements have is that they are almost predominantly exclusively men. That is, I think, probably their biggest weakness. And so because of that, a lot of men don't want to support it because they think that it could lower their chances of getting laid. That's what's going on. You need the Karens. And I think that especially with these rape gangs and the government trying to hide them and like cover them up, I think that this has converted enough Karens to where men now will openly support it because they're not worried about losing sexual marketplace value. I know this sounds like a very weird way of saying it, but I think this is what's happening. I do. This is legitimately where I think things are going. And so as soon as you see enough women that are doing this stuff, again, that's the reason why, as I said before, every single girl that's in a witch's shop or a crystal shop is probably a hot goth girl. It's because no guy wanted to tell her that it was bullshit because you didn't want to ruin his chances. That's the reason why. Why are hot girls crazy? Because guys put up with it. They don't put up with it with crazy ugly girls. Absolutely not. It's just how it is. Yep.
Look, I think you get the picture. This is happening all over the country, and it's just going to grow and grow and grow. People are angry.
True.
And quite frankly, it's not that surprising. The government has placed...
It's obvious why people are mad. It's obvious.
People into these communities, in these hotels, despite having access to the statistics which show them that it will put those communities in danger.
It's not even about it being in danger, and they're still using the in danger as an example. And this is going to be the final Overton window shift that's really going to happen, and I think it's already beginning to happen, is that people will just openly be racist towards them. And you're already seeing this beginning to happen. But once this happens at like a mass level, and there's especially a few like large voices that normalize that behavior, whenever the narrative of we don't want them because they are this other race of people, we don't want them here, period. Whenever you reach that point, and we are getting very close to it, that's when you know it has reached the point of no return. There is no longer going to be a diplomatic solution to this. There will no longer be the possibility to reconcile differences. That's it. Yeah, y'all are such victims. I'm telling you, like, this is what's going to happen. Yeah, they are racist themselves. Well, what I'm saying is that being called racist is something that a lot of people are afraid of. The moment that people are not afraid of it, things will change a lot. I think that you can look at a microcosm for that with trans. Criticizing trans in like 2021 or 2022 would get you deplatformed. Now, it's people's entire platform. That's it. And nowadays, and also as soon as that happened, look at how much negative trans stuff there is now. It's massively popular. Transphobic term no longer matters now? Yeah, because people don't care about it. And so I think trans is like a very minor example of the same thing that's going to happen with a lot of these other movements too. People are starting to become comfortable with them being called racist more and more. Exactly. There's no diplomatic solution or acceptable way of replacing white people. Well, I don't think any group of people wants to be replaced. There's nothing unique about white people in this circumstance. And I don't even think that like it's necessarily about the... There's a lot of like different components to it. I mean, there's a racial component to it. There's a religious component to it. A lot of them are Islamic. Obviously, like, Britain is like, you're traditionally like a, Christian country. You have cultural elements to it, which like tie into religion. There's like economic reasons too. There's all of these things are like compounding on each other. It's not just one thing. It's all of them.
And yet they did it anyway. Remember, the first duty of government is to protect its citizens.
That's what I've always said. And this is the reason why I don't support any of this.
People that they're putting in hotels, not citizens. The people that they're endangering, citizens. So our government...
It's crazy how, like, this guy... Like, I'm going to link you guys this video. I haven't even finished it. I'm going to link you guys the video. Give it a like. This guy's great. It's such an obvious common sense perspective that I wish more people would say it. Yeah, he's totally right. There's the video. Yeah, give the guy a like. He's only got 69,000 subscribers.
Has failed in its basic first duty. There's no other way of putting it. There's no other way around it. That's it. And as Douglas Carswell says...
Yeah, so somebody said, why do you, what is this here? Why do you care so much about Christianity when you're an atheist? I'm going to... Should I ban this person? I'm not going to ban you, but I'm going to time you out. I never said that I did. That was never the point that I ever said. I was talking about Britain. Britain is traditionally a Christian country. Bringing in people of another religion changes that demographic. This is an objective fact. This isn't me advocating a position. It's just simply true. It's the same as Saudi Arabia is traditionally an Islamic country. And I would assume that if you brought a bunch of people there that were Hindu or Jewish or Christian, they might not like that because it would change their demographics. That's it. Like, it's not about what I like or what you like. It's about what is and isn't. That's it. It's very simple. I mean, it's not complicated.
They're going to realize at some point that they cannot contain this for much longer. Anyway, that's just a short video covering these protests. And I felt like I really had to do it because while some of you will see this on social media and you'll be more clued up about what's going on up and down the country, you know, the BBC aren't going to talk about this. Sky News
This is another reason why I talk about it on my stream, is that I know that a lot of the mainstream media publications don't actually give these people fair coverage. It's the same reason why I talk about people like Nick or anybody else, even left-wing people that are extreme, because I think that these people oftentimes in media don't really get a fair shake. And because of that, I try to do it myself, because if I don't do it, it seems like nobody else will. And the only other people that try to talk about them are people that are just glazers or people that are effectively propagandists for their point of view.
To talk about this unless it turns violent, and then they'll just make it all about far-right protests and riots. Okay, that's all they'll discuss.
Yeah.
The peaceful protests, they won't make it to the mainstream media's attention. So that's why we do it here. There's one other thing I want to...
Do you think that things will swing so far to the right we'll get segregation level stuff again? No. There won't be a need for segregation. That's what I think. I think that they will remove the majority of them, and there won't be a need for it. That's what I think. That's what I think will happen. I think it will radicalize people so much that they will be that extreme. As I said, I think that the outcome for this will be worse than World War II.
I refer to myself as English a lot, not British, which is ironic, I know, because my name is British Lander. And I don't want people who are Welsh or Scottish or Ulsterman to take some kind of offence from that. It's just
everybody says, yeah, that's bad. What, Lamau? No, bro. Clip what I'm saying. Clip it, ship it, save it, keep it, hold on to it, and wait for it.
I'm starting to reject the idea of British. Not that I reject the Welsh, the Scottish, and the Northern Irish. Far from it. But British nowadays just seems to mean anybody in the world who is, you know, waiting for a passport, right? It's just ridiculous. We've got British Indians, British Pakistanis, British Nigerians, British everything. But the one thing that cannot be taken away from me, that is entirely unique, that cannot be granted with a passport, is my Englishness. You're either English or you're not. So Rishi Sunak, I don't hate Rishi Sunak, okay? I don't think he was a great prime minister, but let's be honest, he was passed a bit of a hospital pass by Boris Johnson. But Rishi Sunak, he's not English. He's an anglicised Indian. He's a British Indian.
Somebody says you're watching a radicalized dude. If you think this is a radicalized dude, you are in for a really bad time. I don't think you understand how bad of a time that you are in for. Man, I spend a lot of time. Racists always lose. Confederacy, Hitler, all of them are fucking bitches. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know. I mean, in a lot of cases, I think that, yeah, in some cases it's true, for sure.
But he's not English, okay? I am English, and that can't be taken away from me. So if someone comes to me and says, you know, I see myself as Scottish, not British, really, I'm completely okay with that. I don't take any offence from that. But the other thing I'll say is the English identity, more than Welsh or Scottish or Northern Irish, has been stripped away from us and dumbed down in a way that I don't think the other parts of the kingdom really understand.
I don't, yeah.
You know, we've been told that our flag is inherently bad and racist and we should be ashamed of it.
If you have people that say, dude, oh man. Oh, geez. Yeah, this is going to be bad. Oh, God, just like the USA? Yeah. And told this by nobody, by the way? Well, no, I've seen people saying stuff like that. Absolutely, they have. Yeah, of course. This is a stupid view, though. British is a nationality like American. It can mean anyone, even if he admits it represents Welsh, Scottish, and Irish from the start. I think that really, and this is another part, this is another shift of the Overton window that I think is going to be coming. And this is, I don't think that you're going, I think that you can still probably prevent this from happening, but I don't think that it will. there is absolutely a racial identity component around this, but people don't feel comfortable discussing it yet. I think that maybe in 5, maybe less years, they will be able to talk about that. But right now, I think people are still kind of messaging around it in the same way that, so this is a good parallel that I can draw with this, is that, do you remember back in like 2016 where, you know, Trump wasn't talking about sending every single illegal immigrant back and, you know, doing these ICE raids into Home Depot and everything? He wasn't saying that. Like, that was actually a very unpopular opinion because the window of cultural politics didn't accept the idea of just literally deporting everybody, right? He was building a wall, but he wasn't saying he's going to throw everybody out. In less than 10 years, that has not only shifted to becoming an acceptable opinion, but it is the majority opinion held by most adults. That is in less than 10 years. So yeah, as soon as, and Sebekon, thank you for 20 gifted subs, I appreciate that. And so it became the norm. Yes, exactly, right? And I don't think it's necessarily a racial thing so much as a cultural thing. It's a racial thing. It is. It's both, but it is.
Things like that, and it's just ridiculous. I am starting to see some good things coming out of the country. Apparently one English guy in Birmingham was told to take down his St. George's flag, his English flag, and then he bought 100 more and plastered them all over the city. So I love that. And apparently people are painting roundabouts with the English flag. It's great. I really, really love to see that. So when I refer to myself as English, I'm not doing that to offend the Scottish or the Welsh or the Northern Irish. It's just that I am English, okay? I'm very, very proud of that, and nobody can take that away from me or misuse the term, although they will try sometimes, but nobody can remove that quality from me in the same way they can't take away your actual Scottishness or your Welshness or your Northern Irishness, your Ulstermanness, okay? I just want to make that clear. I don't want to offend anybody. Anyway, please do leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll try and reply to quite a lot of comments. Yesterday I had a bit of a family emergency, not going to talk about it, I'm totally fine. In fact, everyone's totally fine in the end, but I had to go to the hospital right as I was replying to comments. So I didn't manage to reply to as many as I usually do, so I'm sorry about that, but I'll make an effort to make up for it today. And yeah, I'll see you in a future video. Thank you very much.
I think this was a really good video. I feel like it was pretty clean. It was a 9-minute video. I feel like it was kind of longer because I kept going off on tangents constantly. There's the video. Make sure to give it a like. The guy's only got 69,000 subscribers. And so, yeah, that's it. Just a bit ago, the police banned the protest in front of the hotel. Yeah, I didn't even see that. I have no idea about this. But I think that in the UK, this is kind of what's happening. And proud of being where you're from is legit. Encouragement to racism, nationalism. Yeah, and I think that that's where things are going to go. Yeah, there it is. Let me see if I can look at a few more of these. So many people are sick these days. You need an appointment to wait 3 months now. Well, that's another reason why people don't want the migration, is that if you already have social service systems that are overwhelmed, the last thing that you need is more people to come in and clog them up. That's really the problem. And so, yeah, this is a reaction, in my opinion. I think it's a reaction. Yeah, the channel's name is British Lander. I'll probably watch more of his videos. This is a good one. I think that what he was saying is definitely accurate. And ultimately, they're outbreeding us. You've typed that now 7 times. I didn't read it the first time because I didn't really care about the conversation. It was a stupid conversation. And it's already been covered multiple times. You just kept spamming the same thing in order to get a response. Again, asking the same question over and over will not get you an answer. It will get you a ban. It's just, it's annoying. Like, that's all. Like, and I understand you want to talk and have your opinions on this, but it just doesn't, that doesn't work on me. And I can't let it work on me, or my entire chat will be just spamming the same question over and over. And so, yeah, they banned protesting just now. Well, let me go back and see this. And so the UK protest ban, UK protest ban. This is what tyranny looks like. Okay. The government in the UK can take away your right to... Wait a second. Sorry, let me just open this one up so I can read the whole thing. In the government, the UK, in the UK, the government can take away your right to peacefully protest. This happened today when they deployed Section 42A order, meaning the people must disperse from an area for 28 days after causing alarm and distress. The people are protesting against having a hotel in their local area filled with illegal immigrants, putting their moms, sisters, and daughters in danger. Man. And this just happened? Oh boy. They already did that the summer holidays over? Yeah, I'm not sure. We need to completely cut off all funds to other countries? Well, I have no idea. And let's see if I can find this here. And it'll just build more frustration. Have they tried banning rape gangs? Oh, well, they tried banning guns, and then people use knives. Now they're trying to ban knives. And by the way, I'm literally being serious. That's actually what's happening. Take a look at this.
Victoria Police headquarters on Spencer.
Victoria, I think this is Australia, so it's pretty much the same thing. It's just another white people country that's not America.
Outside the Victoria Police headquarters on Spencer Street, a purpose-built bin for a weapon wreaking havoc.
Wow.
This is very important. Those knives, those machetes, create enormous damage.
Come September 1, it will be illegal to own a machete, and this is where Victorians are being asked to drop them off.
How do people in Australia tolerate the reality that you can't own a machete? That is insane. In the outback. Oh my God. Why don't they just put the people in jail that are causing the problems? LMFAO, right? Yeah, isn't it nuts? What the fuck is going on? Like, yeah, I have like 5 machetes.
During an amnesty period that will run until November 30.
Machete amnesty safe disposal bin. Oh my God.
30.
We've done this because we want to get these knives off the streets because these knives destroy lives.
Outside.
2 groups of people. Oh, man. Isn't that crazy? And so here we go. There's another one here. Police have imposed a 28-day protest ban outside the Britannia International Hotel Asylum Center in Canary Wharf, saying it caused alarm and distress. And so these are the people? Yeah. Uh-oh.
So now, we're not going to listen to you. You may as well leave. You may as well leave.
This is a Karen horde? Well, yeah.
I'm kindly telling you no.
But again, I do think that one of the reasons why, and this is one of the reasons why a lot of leftist movements are so strong, is because they're supported primarily by women, and men are sympathetic to those movements in order to signal that they are interested in those women or to get closer to those women. And I think that you can look at like a lot of the examples of this. Like, remember that one like content creator guy, like that fucking Harry, whatever the fuck, who was like texting like 7 different girls all the time. This is the reason why they do it. Not really. They're mostly authoritarian. Well, no. I think that actually it's a lot of guys do it in order to get closer to chicks. Like, how many of you guys, let me just ask you a question. How many of you guys have nerfed your politics whenever you're talking to a girl because you wanted to increase your chances of getting with her? That's a lot of me's. That's enough me's for what I'm saying to be true. This is a legitimate thing. That's wild. I would never. I'm not saying to do it. I'm saying this is just what's happening. Man. Uh-oh. So they're getting removed now? So the police are trying to get them all to leave now because they're protesting outside of this. Oh, geez. Yeah, they're banning legitimate peaceful protest over and over again, failed to deliver an election promise. Yeah, this is not going to end well. Well, yeah, I don't think that it will either.
There's a section 42. Section 42 in place.
It's like laggy. I'm not going to look at this one.
Section 42 in place of the 2001. You're causing distress or harm to the resident of this hotel. Yeah? You have to leave now. And
you can't protest peacefully. That's fucked. Yeah, well, this is the thing, is that if you make it to where people can't protest, and, like, I mean, you know, this is, again, like, if you look at these people, they're not breaking cars, they're not burning down Teslas, they're not jumping on Waymos, they're just simply sitting in front of the hotel doing nothing. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing here at all. And so, yeah, they're just sighing, exactly, riots will happen. Yes, and if you don't let people protest, you're going to get riots. Absolutely. And you can see there's a lot of people, obviously, that are just kind of getting more and more extreme in general. And, yeah, as long as 3 protests banned in the last 24 hours, yeah, they've done this a lot, apparently, it seems. And so, yeah, that's where things are right now. It is wrong. They're way too peaceful. I mean, the thing is that won't last, though, is that I think that, like, the more that this goes on, the more extreme and the more radical people will be. Riots incoming in 1 week? Maybe, right? I'll be right back. I need to use the bathroom. Give me a second. It's time for a revolution? I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I do think things are going to get more extreme. This definitely happened for sure. I never thought I'd see good Karens, damn. Well, again, it's you're going to have, if you have these people on your side, it's better than having them against you. Don't be biased. On the LA riots, you said police should take them off the road. Same thing here. Yeah, of course they shouldn't be on the road obstructing traffic. Absolutely. Yeah, sure. That's fine. But I think protesting on the side of the road or protesting in front of the hotel is totally okay. Yeah, I mean, like, this is... oh, yeah, that's a gotcha, by the way. That is a gotcha. Let me see if I can find him and ban him. Where's it? Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, yeah, there we go. And he's sitting in the middle of the road, for fuck's sake. Yeah. It's clearly he's playing that game, right? If anybody ever goes and does the... well, you said this one thing in this different situation, and I'm going to compare it to this situation, so now you're wrong. If you do that, you're gone. I'm sorry to say you're gone.